Now let's look at the vertical line test. The vertical line test answers the question, does the graph represent a function? So the question might give you a certain graph like this, or maybe a graph that looks like this, and just simply ask, is this a function? This is a function. It turns out that this is a function and this one's not. And the way we determine that is by what's called the vertical line test. And the vertical line test simply says that if it is possible to draw a vertical line so that it crosses the graph more than once, then the graph does not represent a function. Otherwise, it is a function. So if we look at our two previous examples, in this case right here, what you need is just a ruler or a line, kind of straight line, and simply say, is it possible anywhere here to draw a vertical line so that it crosses the graph more than once? And it cannot. And since it cannot, you cannot draw a vertical line so it crosses more than once, then it is a function. In this case, on the other hand, it is possible to draw a vertical line so that it crosses more than once. In this case, it would cross here and here, so in that case, it's not a function. So let's just use the same question, does this graph represent a function? And let's do some examples. So the first one we saw, let's think about a graph of a line. If we have a graph of a line, would that be a function? Is it anywhere possible to draw a vertical line so that it crosses more than once? It is not, so a line is a function. What about a parabola? In this case, is it possible anywhere to draw a perpendicular line so that it crosses more than once? It's not, so this is a function as well. What about a circle? The circle is not. See how it's possible here to draw a vertical line so it crosses twice there, so that's not a function. And that's all you do. Let's do just a couple more examples. Let's look at a graph that looks like this. Remember, the key is that if it's possible to draw a vertical line anywhere so that it crosses more than once, it's not a function. So although you could draw a vertical line here where it crosses only once, you could draw a vertical line here where it would actually cross 3 times. The definition says if it's possible to draw a vertical line so that it crosses the graph more than once anywhere in the graph, then it does not represent a function. So this is not a function. A function can be pretty complicated, so it'll be a function. If we look at this function, or this graph, see if there's any place you can draw a vertical line so that it crosses more than once. That is not, so this is a function. Probably the most common question asked on test is they give you, well, it looks like a parabola except for its left and right. If you notice there, it is possible to draw a vertical line so that it crosses more than once, so this is not a function. So applying the vertical line test, this is a function, this is a function, this is not a function, this is not a function, this is a function, but this is not. And that's how you apply the vertical line test.